life coach to work with the students individually and collectively to increase their self-esteem and self-concept and visualize a world where they control their lives and contribute to the community. All right, and first up, we're going to have Miriam Carlotta Arthur Sullivan, or Coach Arthur for as some call her. She has a background over 33 years of educational experience. She has taught elementary school, Spanish, college courses, and is presently the principal of Carpe Diem Academy, a school for special needs students. Her experience as a school administrator for Miami-Dade County Public Schools and Carpe Diem inspired her to embark in the journey of opening NieCat Foundation of Excellence Incorporation. She graduated from Fisk University with a bachelor's in psychology and Spanish. She holds a Master of Science degree from Nova Southeastern University in elementary education, and she is presently working on a Doctor of Education with a concentration in special education. Coach Arthur became a life coach in 2013. Her educational background and her faith in God gave her 3 niches in life coaching that she now calls her own. Coach Arthur is a life coach expert in parent life coaching, teen life coaching, and spiritual coaching using the law of attraction. Coach Arthur began NieCat life coaching and has a passion for assisting, mentoring, and supporting individuals and exploring how to live a better life. After watching a 60-minute expose about young adults with special needs, Coach Arthur decided to help young adults with special needs in Miami. NieCat Foundation of Excellence was born in October 2019 and is dedicated to providing a safe haven for exceptional young adults ages 23 to 35 years old, with opportunities to explore and realize gifts, talents, receive therapy services, obtain literacy, vocational training, career counseling, and entrepreneurial training in a nurturing, fun, judgment-free zone. She is originally from Caracas, Venezuela, via Brooklyn, New York, and has lived in sunny Miami, Florida since 1988. She enjoys group life coaching, practicing the law of attraction, reading, walking, and being a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated for the last 27 years. Coach Arthur is committed to making NieCat Foundation of Excellence Incorporation a household name where young adults who are exceptional can thrive and become the best version of themselves. You can support Coach Arthur by donating to givebox.com /520945. That's givebox.com /520945. And once again, that number is 520945. And now here's Coach Arthur.
Well, thank you, Blaze. First, I want to say thank you to everyone that's on the line. I appreciate you for being here, for choosing to be here with us. And I also want to say thank you to Blaze. Blaze is my son from another mother. He is a graduate of, and I'm going to get it right, Florida Agricultural Mechanical University. Did I get that right? I practice all day long. And he is going to, in my eyes, I see him being a host to Good Morning America. And for now, he is part of the team for NPR News. So thank you, Blaze, for being with us. Thank you for saying yes. I also want to thank Don and Kathy for saying yes. We are here to help others, as well as fundraising for NieCat Foundation of Excellence. Every time we have to come up with a fundraiser, I want it to be a fundraiser where we can help others. So during this time, and we're also taping it, during this time, we are answering live coaching questions. And Dawn does have a disclaimer for us that you will hear later. We are answering live coaching questions. And we are thanking everyone for donating to NieCat Foundation of Excellence. And as Blaze said, I am the principal of Carpe Diem Academy, and it was being the principal at Carpe Diem Academy that put me into the realm of special needs. So I've learned during the last 3 years of being the principal at 2 years of being the principal at Carpe Diem Academy, that once our special students turn 22, that's the last year with us. And once they turn 23, they don't have anywhere to go. So after knowing that and having parents ask me, what am I going to do with my young adults? It was then that I decided that what better place to be for these young adults than a place that I bring up from the ground up. And that is exactly how NieCat Foundation of Excellence was born in October 2019, just like Blaze said. And so I'm asking everyone that's on the line now, I'm asking everyone that listens to this recording, make sure that you say yes to NieCat Foundation of Excellence. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook. And whenever we have any activities for the families of young adults with special needs, please make sure you let everyone know and never miss an opportunity to donate, because after all, it is tax deductible. So with that in mind, we're going to start. I'm going to turn it over to Blaze and enjoy our lessons for today. Blaze.
Thanks, Carlotta. So now we're going to introduce Kathleen McTunis, professional life coach. Kathleen has a background in education and with over 30 years of experience. She taught Spanish and French. She also wrote and taught conflict resolution and mediation at the high school where she taught. She gained insight and experience through being an intern, assistant principal as well. She is a graduate of FAU with a bachelor's in Spanish and a minor in French. She holds an MS from Nova Southeastern University in educational leadership, since she wanted to continue helping others in the area of conflict resolution. She became a life coach and formed the coaching company Connecting Incorporation after her career in teaching. Coach Kathy has worked in area of positive communication, relationships, and social skills since she founded Connecting Incorporated. She recently rebranded as a conflict resolution coach since all the areas she addressed fell under the umbrella of conflict resolution. Her mission is to help clients manage conflicts in their lives through specific conflict resolution techniques, enabling them to lead a happier, more peaceful, and successful lives. She offers customized coaching to her clients, which include both adults and children, and tailors all sessions to the needs of each client. What makes Coach Kathy unique is that after each session, she emails clients a summary of the session plus an action plan for the next week, which provides accountability for their progress. Using this method, clients can relax and engage during their session, knowing that they will receive an email to refer to later. Kathy published her first book, Positive Parenting: How to Connect and Engage with Your Child, in 2018. She has produced many informational videos on a variety of topics which present challenges in daily living. She has lived in Florida most of her life, although she spent a year in Colombia, South America, and a year in France to perfect her language skills and experience other cultures. She enjoys reading, traveling, cooking, mentoring, volunteering, working out, and making a difference in the lives of others. Kathy is available for consulting and coaching. She can be contacted through her Connecting Incorporation website, www.connectingincorporated.net or inc.net at 954-294-9708. Let me give you that website again. It's www.connectinginc.net. And Kathy, you can go ahead and take it away.
Well, thank you very much for that introduction. I felt very moved after I retired from teaching to continue to reach out and help kids and parents. I'm the mother of twins. One of my children has learning differences, so I am very empathetic for what those individuals go through and how that affects them academically and psychologically, and also empathetic towards the parents. And so many of the different challenges that we experience, conflict resolution strategies can help us to lead a more peaceful type of life. And all this, although this will not be like a coaching session, like Don mentioned very appropriately, we take into consideration the client's background, their learning style, and many different factors. We're going to give you some ideas to play with here and to consider that'll help you get to where you want to be. Thank you, Blaze.
All right. And next up, we have Dawn. And Dawn has been a student of West African spirituality for 27 years. She was initiated into the priesthood of Osun in 1997 and traveled to Nigeria for her Ifa initiation in 2012. In 2006, and another initiation in 2016. She started Ifa Oriza Collective in 2017 as a platform to promote West African Oriza educational experiences. She continues to develop as she travels, studying the many variations of West African Oriza around the world. Dawn graduated from Florida Memorial University with a Bachelor of Science in Business Management. She went on to complete her Master of Business from St. Thomas University. She has a 34-year successful career in risk and claims management, where she specializes in claims evaluation and mediation. Her ability to negotiate has yielded a settlement record of 100% over her career. Dawn's desire to find and fulfill her destiny has revealed the path of being the bridge that connects West African spirituality and culture to those descendants that were disconnected from that culture. Her focus on African spirituality and culture has provided a unique insight into the many rooms and values lost by those in our current Western society. She takes this African-centered perspective and provides resolutions to life's challenges. This makes her counseling and spiritual guidance unique to contemporary life coaching. While it provides an African-centered answer to clients' current life challenge, it also educates the client on the traditional and indigenous ways of the African ancestors. Dawn was born and raised in the socio-economical challenged areas of South Florida. Her desire to have a better life has taken her to over 50 plus countries and traveling across 3 to 5 oceans. She continues to travel to Africa yearly, as her training is a lifetime commitment. She has a big heart for her community, where she is highly active in several different organizations. Dawn loves bringing like-minded people together and started Brown Girl Economics during the pandemic, a company where members support Black-owned businesses. Dawn loves reading, cooking, and having a positive impact on those she encounters. You can take it away, Dawn.
Well, thank you so much. I'm just going to make just a few corrections. I know using the West African Yoruba language is very difficult. It took me years to learn some of the pronunciations. But so my title is Ianifa, which is a high priestess of Ifa, and the practice is West African Orisha. And also my priestess name, Faje Morola Ife Tayo Fakeyode, in the West African tradition. The names are like prayers. So every time you pronounce a name, you're saying a prayer for that person. So I know sometimes it can be very difficult, but like we said, we're here today to give some just basic ideas regarding some of the questions that were submitted. Personal life coaching requires knowledge of the individual's life and the things that are going on. You know, people that have children have a different situation in their home than those that don't. So those types of things are important for a life coach to know and understand in order to give coaching ideas that are appropriate for the person's life. So we're going to just give some basic responses to some of the questions that have been submitted. And we hope that everybody can take away something from what we have to give today.
All right, thank you so much. And now I believe we're going to go over to Nielle for a quick poem.
Hello, my name's Nielle. I'm the director of NieCat Foundation of Excellence, and I'm very happy that everyone is spending this time with us and supporting us. I feel very grateful. And this poem is entitled Not Perfect. Don't let the vague darkness give blindness in your eyes. Let your heart illuminate both the beauty and the lies. You won't last in this life not reading between the lines and getting conquered with pain with all those hurtful cries. This life ain't perfect and a mind a thought to keep. Those are times you'll have no choice but to pray with your hands and leap. Be prepared for surprises, for events may quickly flip, or else you lose grip and far away you'll slip. Thank you, everyone.
All right, great job. And next, we want to start the questions. You can go ahead and, if you have any questions, I believe you can submit some, but we also have some here. And so one of our first questions is, why is it when you work extremely hard and you always work tirelessly to make someone's business excel, and when it's time for someone to assist you with yours, it doesn't happen? And anybody can answer the question. Go ahead.
Wait, Blaze, who is that question for? Under the question, there's someone's name. Whose name is it?
I think this is the 4 questions that were asked. I didn't see who this one was for. So 1 second here, sorry.
I think I volunteered for it.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, this one doesn't have, this is just 4 random questions, and then we'll get to the ones with people's names in there.
Okay. Do you want me to go? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Yeah, I have had this experience before. I've lived this where I have given to someone else in their business and tried to help promote them, only to have them maybe not help me in kind. So something that I think you should consider when we're in the business world is to be very clear with the other person as to what you're able and feel comfortable doing for them. And if it is going to be, and if you're expecting an exchange, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, then you need to be very clear and specific on what you would like them to do for you. And if they're not comfortable with that, then you have a decision to make about whether you want to go forth with this or not. But many times there are misunderstandings when someone says, oh, can you help me out with this? And you help them out and thinking that they're going to be available and able to help you with another project. So it might not be anything where there's any bad intentions. It's just maybe they're not able to, or they choose not to because they don't feel comfortable with it. So I think being very clear from the very beginning takes that possibility of misunderstandings away, so that everyone knows what they're getting into, what the expectations are. And I certainly think that there are times where you give, and like today, I was happy to do this, and I'm not thinking about what I'm going to receive or if I'm going to receive anything. I think there's nothing wrong with that. You have to decide if you want to give in that, with that intention, or if you do have an expectation.
All right, thank you so much. And since you're already going, I have another question for you. What is the best way to create goals?
Okay, and again, these are just some ideas to consider, because there's not just one way to do this. But one thing I love to start off with is visualizing yourself already having accomplished that goal. Think about how you would feel, and if you're going to really be happy and fulfilled if you accomplish this goal. You need to also think, does this goal align with your life's purpose? Okay, because if it does, that's going to give you the motivation to continue on. you have to ask yourself, is this a SMART goal? Is this something specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely? Because if you just say, I want to be happy, we all want to be happy, but it's not very specific. If you consider talking to other people who have attained this goal or something similar, you can find out the steps that they took or the resources they used to prepare themselves for tackling this goal. I always think it's very helpful to have an accountability partner so that you're not all talk and no action. You know, have somebody that you can bounce ideas off of and have an action plan. And you can use a life coach, or you could maybe use somebody who's in this field where your goal happens to be related to. If you have a SMART goal and you've done all your research, there is that day that comes where you have to just roll up your sleeves and get to work. And one thing I think that is very helps a lot with your awareness is if you keep a journal about all the actions you take and how you're feeling as you go along this journey. And if you don't like to write, you can record it right on your cell phone and listen back and see how you're doing. And remember, if you start to lose motivation, think about why this goal is so important. And again, visualize where you want to be once you've accomplished this goal and think about how happy you're going to be. So those are just a few ideas on setting goals.
All right, thank you. And now moving on to Dawn. Dawn, how come we as Black people do not know how to become financially successful?
Okay, so I think that is one of those comments sometimes we make, and we generalize things to cover everybody, and that's not necessarily the case. So let's get the understanding of that first. We have lots of Black millionaires and billionaires in this country and around the world. You know, having traveled to Africa, I have seen many, many billionaires and millionaires of African descent. So that's not the case. So then when you say that, if somebody's asking that question, more than likely it's why I'm not successful. So like Coach Kathy just said, becoming financially successful takes initiative, effort, and goal setting. What is your definition of financially successful? You have to start there and then work your way back. What's going to get you to that point? What are your skills and abilities and resources that are available for you in order to put to work to get you to that financial goal of being financially successful? Always look at what you first and foremost can do, because you can't always rely on others to come through for you. You know, we're definitely not an island in life, but you also have to be realistic of what you have, what your skills and abilities are, and what it takes to get to the financial successful point that you want to accomplish. And then, like Coach Kathy said, visualize yourself there. Visualize yourself being financially successful, and then roll your sleeves up and get to work.
All right, great answer. And then Coach Arthur, of course, how do I let go when I feel someone has not been fair towards me? You need to unmute, Coach Arthur.
Thank you. That's a great question. How do I let go when I feel someone is being unfair to me? So the first thing that us spiritual beings having a human experience we have issues with is being kind to ourselves. So the first, to me, as a life coach, the first thing I tell my clients is that they have to accept themselves, they have to be kind with themselves, and they have to know what their expectations are. If someone is not being kind to you, the first thing that you need to do is you need to look within yourself and do an assessment. What is it that makes you feel that that's not kind to you? You have to go within and ask, what's the lesson to learn? And in addition to that, you have to speak your truth. And even though I'm a life coach, that is something that within the last 10 years, I have learned how to do, how to speak your truth. When someone is bringing forth discomfort upon you, you need to sit, take a deep breath, find out why. Why is it that this person is making you feel the way they are? And then choose to have a conversation with that person. Tell the truth. Tell your truth. What is it that is happening? Why is it bothering you? And what your expectations are. I will also say, do not do it in a heat of a moment. Take a minute. Take a breath. Think about what you are thinking about. Think about why this is making you feel the way it's making you feel. And then choose to come up with your game plan. Remembering, think about why is it bothering you? What is the lesson to learn? And then speak your truth and let this person know exactly what is it that you are expecting of them without attacking them. That would be my answer.
All right, thank you. And back to Coach Kathy. How do you handle difficult people at work, including those who you supervise and those who supervise you?
What I find is difficult people oftentimes feel insecure. They want to control the situation. And so you have to try to understand why they're being difficult. Maybe they feel that no one is really listening to them. No matter what the reason, you always have to set boundaries. So if they want to be difficult or they are difficult without even realizing it, it can't go over into disrespect towards you or other coworkers. And that's when you need to make them aware of that in a clear and kind way, because a lot of people don't realize that they're really being difficult. So you have to have those boundaries set. You have to be very clear. And I think it always helps to make difficult people feel special in some way. And it seems to kind of bring down the tension, give them a chance to state their point of view and talk about what they want to do at work or in the relationship. And if it continues, sometimes if you can limit your time with them, but sometimes it's a very complicated situation and you're not going to be able to change that person unless they're really aware and they want to change. And like I say, there are a lot of things we don't know about from this question as to why they're difficult. But we always have to set boundaries. Don't be a victim, and let them know what's acceptable and what is not acceptable.
Thank you. Thank you. And Dawn, why do we have to walk on Rodeo Drive pretending instead of actually being?
Pretending what?
I would imagine that the question is, why do we have to do the things that is out of our budget, essentially? Why do we do things that is out of our budget, buy things that we can't maintain over a long period of time to keep up with the look?
Okay. So in the society that we are in, it's a social media society, and everybody wants to live on a certain materialistic level, and I think that the problem with that is we always want to be something that we're not. Individuals that do that are definitely have issues within themselves. So in the West African Orisha system, the first thing we are responsible for is going within and evaluating who we really are, evaluating what's important to us in life, and not allowing those things that are external to us to totally influence the decisions that we make that are good for our life. So it's important for people to do an introspection, to find out who you are, to live your authentic life, and not feel that things like cars or clothes or whatever is the defining point of who you are and what you are. Once we understand that, then we can get on a path of living our authentic selves. And there is no freedom in the world like living and being who you really are.
Hello, hello.
Yep, great answer. How's it going? And so next, we're going to go back to Coach Arthur. We have a question. Should I speak with and introduce my 18-year-old who's leaving for college about safe sex contraceptive choices?
Okay. Before I answer that question, two things. One, for those of you that entered within the last 5 minutes or so, this is being recorded. You'll see it on our YouTube channel. You'll see it on our Facebook and our Instagram. I think we could put it on Instagram. So you're not missing anything. All you have to do is continue to listen and then go back and do the recording. Now, for the question that has been posed to me, one of the things that I tell parents when I am life coaching them, and one of the things that I also tell teens, is that you must have an open line of communication with your child. So that will be the beginning. You have to have a face-to-face, honest and brutal conversation before, I don't know if it's a young man or a young woman going away to college. At this point, at 18, your child, you should have spoken to your child about sexual transmitted diseases, about abstinence, about marriage, about finishing college, about getting a college degree. And so that would be your springboard into continuing the conversation, especially if the child is going away to college. A suggestion that I have, again, the disclaimer is that we've said before, the suggestions, the suggestion that I have is to make an appointment with the gynecologist and take the child, if it's a woman, a young woman, take her to the gynecologist and have a conversation with the gynecologist. See what the gynecologist recommends. Have a conversation with dad. I think if there's a dad in the picture, this needs to be a family affair, because her future and his future are depending upon it. And again, I put a disclaimer, you don't have to, but it might be a great idea to take them to the doctor to get the papillomavirus vaccine, as that vaccine research shows is killing our children because of sexual transmitted diseases. So to recap, I will have a conversation with my child. I will let my child know how difficult it is to become pregnant and not finish college. I will establish with my child what is our main purpose. Our main purpose is to get a college degree. And so there are steps to follow to get a college degree, and becoming pregnant is not one of them. And getting sexually transmitted diseases also is not one of them. So the conversation needs to be real. The conversation needs to be raw, and the conversation needs to have a lot of kindness, because we don't know what the child is going to say. And whatever the child says, we have to be open and receptive as parents without judgment. And that would be the biggest step that we need to follow. with our young adults. We need to be kind and we need to be judge-free. Regardless of how we're feeling inside, we have to make sure that they trust us. And they're not going to trust us unless we are fair and kind. That would be my answer.
All right, thank you. And Coach Kathy, this question is for you. How can I avoid arguing with my kids?
Great question. I hear this a lot, and I do cover it in my book, Positive Parenting, a guide for engaging and connecting with your children, because the way you communicate with them from the time they're really young is going to set the stage for the later years. And if you put the time in on the front, you're going to be really happy you did later on. That's for sure. So I'm going to say something kind of different here that maybe not everybody agrees with, but I think it's really important to collaborate with our children. We put our brain power with their brain power, and we come up with some good basic rules for the house, how we're going to communicate with each other, respect each other, and how we show that, and talk about consequences for not following those rules. So it's all there, literally out on the table. And so there are no surprises. They know the proper way to speak to their parents, and the parents are treating the child with that same respect because it is a collaboration. And we just did this in our household, and we posted the rules in a central location. So we were always reminded of those. And my husband and I modeled the behaviors for them. So talking to your family members in a pleasant tone of voice, including people, even the younger children in family discussions. That's how they learn how to participate and be part of a group. And collaborating or compromising when feasible. Kids feel very helpless. They can control very little in their lives. So the more you draw them into the situation and the more they're part of the process, the more cooperation you're going to get, and you're going to end up having a much more peaceful life. When there is a disagreement, you continue to use that normal volume and not yell, and lowering your voice will often de-escalate the situation. And invite that child to focus on the problem at hand with you. So focus not on the person, but on the problem. Get their point of view, express your point of view, and invite that other person, whether it be your child or your husband, whoever, to talk about why they believe their opinion is correct and what they want and need out of the particular situation. And I think that really helps, to invite them in and brainstorm together on creating an agreement. And you can actually write down that agreement so that it's very clear. Because if you're just talking, anything can, kids get upset, adults get upset. We don't remember things the way they happened. And when you reach that agreement, it's a good thing to post that agreement. And if your initial efforts don't pay off, just revisit another idea in the brainstorming session, because you're going to have lots of ideas and you're going to choose an idea to implement. And that's not always going to be maybe something that works. So then you try again. After several attempts, if you still are having trouble, that might be a really good time to enlist the help of a life coach or a mediator or a therapist, depending on the situation. But I think it's a great way to get kids really involved in the conflict resolution process. And then they'll start using it with their siblings and their friends. And it's great to see.
All right, thank you. And
Welcome.
Dawn, how can a person push through hardships of life even when the support system and the means are not present?
Okay, so in the West African Orisha system, one of the foundational principles that we as priests and priestesses are always responsible for communicating to our clients is the essential of always having hope. Keeping hope in the forefront of everything that you do in life. Always having hope that you have the ability to make things happen for yourself. So when you encounter situations that you undertake and you don't have the support around you, go and research what it takes to be successful in that particular situation, or in trying to accomplish that particular goal, or trying to open that particular business. Write those steps out and take each step and determine what resources, what skills and ability is going to take to accomplish those steps, and determine whether you have those skills and ability and resources at your fingertips in order to accomplish them by yourself. If you can't do that, and you don't have anyone around you to support you in accomplishing them, then just maybe that's not a goal for you. You know, sometimes walking away from what you can't accomplish on your own gives you the ability to look at something else that you can accomplish on your own. Don't see that as failure. See that as being successful in determining what you can be successful at. So when you don't have the support system there, look at what it is that you're trying to accomplish and determine whether you actually have the skills and abilities to accomplish it yourself. If you don't, then you need to look at what you can be successful in accomplishing.
All right, thank you. And we have a question from Nefertiti Young here. It is, what are some of the steps to take on the journey of self-love? And this question is open for all of our speakers. So whoever wants to tackle it.
What's the question?
The question is, what are some steps to take on the journey of self-love?
Okay. So I believe that, and it would be great if the question could be answered by all the three of us. I believe to begin the journey of self-love begins by knowing that this is going to be a goal. Decide for it to be a goal on a daily basis. In my life coaching journey, I start everything spiritually. I start everything with prayer. So the first step to me would be turn within. Ask God exactly what is it that you need to see, you need to learn, you need to experience in order to have self-love. Treat yourself kindly. Put yourself first. Pick a day that you're going to do something that makes you feel good about yourself. Remember, learn and practice. No is a complete sentence. So whenever someone wants to have you do something that might not necessarily be something that you want to do, honor yourself. Put yourself first. Say yes to you first. To me, those are the beginning stages of self-love. So now I would love to hear from Dawn and Coach Kathy to answer that same question.
Okay, so I love this question because I deal with a lot of my clients are African Americans. I'm not apologetic about that, because in this country we have been taught that everything that represents us as a people is something negative. We look at the color Black as something negative. We look at kinky hair as something negative. We look at a full nose as something negative. We at one time looked at full lips as something negative. And the unfortunate thing is that we allow someone else to define what beauty is and what is worthy of love. So the first thing I do with a client is I try to understand what they think is worthy of love, what their vision of beauty is, what their vision of what they think is the thing that is worth giving their all to. And then I take them from that point to self-love. I believe that I know a lot of us, we do vision boards at the beginning of every year to decide what we want to accomplish for the year. How many of us take a picture of ourselves and put on that vision board? We'll put a picture of a house, picture of a car, picture of, oh, I want $1 million in the bank at the end of the year. We do all of that, but we never put a picture of ourselves. And I always tell people self-love starts with knowing who you are, knowing that you, first and foremost, is worthy of all the love in the world. You were created by the Creator, and the Creator does not create something that's not worthy of love. The very act of creation is love itself. So until you like your own kinky hair and your full nose and your full lips and everything there is about you, you can't love yourself. So you have to sometimes redefine in your mind what is worthy of love. You are worthy of love.
Those were some great points done, because a lot of people don't take it to that level and start thinking about what they consider lovable. And I've taught many students that struggled with their self-esteem and didn't really love themselves. And I used to just tell them, God doesn't make junk. God makes people who are here for a purpose, you know? You're not an accident, okay? You're a human being with a soul, and you have wonderful things to share with other people that you may not even be aware of. And one thing when I'm working with young people, getting them ready for interviews, and I ask them, what are your strengths and your weaknesses? They're pretty sure what their weaknesses are, but they don't know what their strengths are. So it's really hard to love yourself if you don't know what those strengths are and what you consider lovable, and then start working on those traits. One thing I always think that is so great for self-love and for self-esteem is sharing your strengths, no matter how humble they may be, with other people. You know, anytime I walk away from after having volunteered or helped people and made that effort, I always feel better about myself. I feel more lovable. I feel that I can love myself more easily when I'm sharing those strengths. And we're really just the channel for that spiritual energy. And I think that's the way, when you make that spiritual connection between your strengths and how you can make a difference in this world, you start feeling really great about yourself.
All right, thank you so much for that. And
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You are most welcome.
all right, and then Dawn, I wanted to come back to you. I have another question. A friend I've known for 10 plus years, who's also the head of our professional department, started behaving differently in the past 6 to 9 months. I've attempted to discuss the matter, but it was brushed off. Do I leave it as it is and move on, or making another attempt to discuss or inquire about the situation in hopes of a possible resolution?
Okay, so that question can apply in different ways. I'm not sure if I got all the details of the question, but if you are somebody's superior and that's a subordinate individual, that is handled in a different way. If it's just someone that you know that's in your environment, in your job environment, and you just notice that there's something is off, and you want to try and help them. First of all, I want to say that shows that you have empathy, compassion, and love. And that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with being concerned, genuinely concerned about someone. Now, if you're going in the matter of just being nosy, you need to step back. Just cut it off. It's none of your business. But if it's someone that you notice that may have some issues and you're caring, it's coming from a place of love from you, then I always encourage the person to try. Now, you cannot force anyone to open up to you or to confide in you. But there are small little steps that you can take that will continue to allow that person to know that you're still there. That might be writing a little note and leaving it in a private place where you know that person is going to see, or taking them flowers or giving them something that lets them know that they're cared for. Because your initial response to that person is because you care about them. So they may not be ready to divulge what it is or what's going on or what has changed in their lives that caused this change in behavior, but there's nothing wrong with you continuing to show that you care about them, because it just may come to a point where that person decides to come and confide in you. So I would say, don't push it if you've tried already, but just continue to show little examples of love and caring for that person until they decide to come around and share with you.
Thank you. And we're going to have one more question, and then Carlotta's going to take it away afterwards. So I'm going to go ahead and address this question to you. How does spiritual coaching and law of attraction work together?
Okay, so a lot of coaches do not base their coaching on spiritual, on a spiritual basis, and that is something that I do. So when I say it's spiritual, it means, to me at least, when I think spiritual, it means putting God first, knowing that God is all-knowing, and knowing that it takes a greater force than ourselves. I call that force God. Other people may call it something else. And so it's very important to understand that the spiritual path and the faith-filled path go hand in hand. Sometimes people read the Bible and they talk about faith. However, they don't realize that faith is an action. Actually, faith is in my world, faith is a verb. So if I'm going to life coach you, I'm going to life coach you knowing that God is first, knowing that the two of us are going to go into partnership, and that partnership has to do with the God presence. And so when you decide, going back to what Coach Kathy said, when you decide on a goal, one of the things that you have to do for that goal is you have to set your intention. Setting your intention means using your faith. So when you talk about the law of attraction, some people say, oh no, that's mumbo jumbo, but no, the law of attraction is actually God in action, because you have to first of all, you have to believe. Then after you believe, you have to do something. You have to put steps in front of you in order to walk those steps. And those steps are your objectives, your goals. So that's how I would tie the spiritual essence of life coaching with the law of attraction. And with that in mind, we have 4 minutes left. If you have a question, you may put the question up on chat. One of us will answer the question. But I wanted to take this time to say thank you. Thank you for those of you that chose to donate. Thank you for those of you that chose to show up and be here and listen to our answers to the questions that you had. I pray that something that was said will actually help you and assist you in your life journey. I thank you for being a NieCat Foundation of Excellence supporter. Thank you for that. we have made our budget. Let me just take this time to tell you a little bit of what has happened. We had a APD, that's the Agency for Persons with Disability. They came out, they actually approved the place where we're going to be. We are moving to the next stage, which would allow us to provide Medicaid waivers to young adults with special needs. That means we'll be able to provide speech, physical therapy, and occupational therapy. We have the program, the curriculum part of NieCat Foundation of Excellence has been set. The software has been not bought yet, but we know what software we're going to use. We are in touch with the mayor's office, the mayor of Miami. They are willing to help. We're also in touch with Commissioner Corroyos. He's also willing to help. He's going to donate software for us. As soon as our waiver, our Medicaid waiver is in, we'll be able to set flyers out. The flyers have been done already. And basically, for those of you that live in Miami, we are concentrating in the Little Havana area, the Overtown, the Brickell, and the Coconut Grove area in order to have our students. And as Coach Kathy said, our goal is something that has to be tangible, and our goal is to be able to have 10 students in our building by August 23rd. And in addition to that, within the next 30 days, we are going to work with having partnerships with companies that once we train the young adults, they will be able to find them jobs. So again, thank you. It's 2:59 now. Blaze, are there any questions on the chat for us?
No, I haven't seen any questions come in the chat. So
So at
can go
this
ahead
time,
and wrap
I'm
it
going
up.
to ask my sorority sister, Dawn, to pray us out. He thought I forgot.
I know you don't forget anything. Let us all bow our heads. To the omnipotent, omnipresent God of this universe, we thank you for this time, for this moment that we've been given to not only share with those who have questions about life's challenges and life's opportunities, but we also thank you for the blessings that we have obtained just by being a part of this event. We pray for the NieCat Foundation. We pray for success. We pray for more money to come in the door. We pray for financial stability, and we pray for all of those who are going to be impacted by this organization. Let us continue to move forward in support of NieCat Foundation, in support of all the individuals that are listening here, in support of our community as well. We thank you, we honor you, and we have nothing but expectations of greatness for all of those who have participated. We wish blessings of good health, good wealth, longevity, prosperity, and all manner of good things. Ashe, ashe, and ashe.
Amen. Yay, that was awesome. Also, for those of you that are on the line, I will ask a favor of you. This will be posted on our Facebook platform. Please go to our Facebook platform if you haven't yet. Like NieCat Foundation of Excellence and share with at least 3 individuals. Our next meeting will be a meeting for the actual parents. We're sending out a flyer, and at the end of the month, we have Coastal Wealth. It's an insurance company that deals with families with young adults and children of special needs. And they're going to give our parents a workshop on how to make sure that the insurance that the young adults have is the right insurance for them. So the way we are doing this, 1 month we have a fundraiser, the next month we'll teach our parents, because after all is said and done, yes, I am a life coach, but I'm an educator first. So my idea, my passion is to educate others. So that's why this is the type of workshops that we're going to have. So I hope that you guys continue supporting us. Thank you. Have an awesome week. Thank you, Coach Kathy. I appreciate
Thank you.
for saying yes. Thank
And
you.
thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you to my sorority sister, Dawn. Thank you for saying yes.
Absolutely. Always.
Thank you to my son from another mother, Blaze. Thank you for being my MC. I love you so much. Thank you to
No
my
problem.
firstborn, Niel. Thank you for that lovely, lovely poem. Next time she's going to sing. And I see Neffy is on the line as well. Neffy, you're going to be singing soon for one of our fundraisers. So get those pipes ready. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you, everybody. Be blessed. Have a good day.
All right.